Hello everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Minecraft How to Build. Manticore here, and today we are actually in our old fishing shack, and I was just taking a quick look here at the map that we have set up of our How to Build world, and it's grown quite a bit since we first built up this small little section down here. So, as you can see, this map is actually getting a little too full because we've got the witch's house way up there, which isn't even on the map, nor is the shaman's camp, which is right down here. So basically, we need somewhere with a bigger map, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Heading over here to this clear section across the plaza by the wizard's tower and the warlock's mansion, we're going to go ahead and be building an adventurer's hall. Now, we're over here at the clearing that I mentioned before, right over by the wizard's tower and the mansion, and as you can see, while I have cleared out the trees itself, I haven't done much to the landscaping. I've made it a little bit cleaner around the edges, however, we might be needing to do a little bit more work with it. But this is going to be a very large build, so it'll probably be 2, maybe 3 episodes long, and for today, we're going to be primarily focusing on the build itself. Now, for this build, I want to do something a little bit different than what we've done already, and, well, basically I want to use some different blocks in order to build up this structure itself. I don't want to vary too far away from the theme that we have built around the little town itself, because I don't want it to look super strange. But, I think we're going to do our best to make this look a little bit more unique. So, I am starting out with some stripped birch logs here, and I don't really have a huge plan in mind yet. I'm just sort of building, and we'll see where we wind up. Now, for this build, I'm thinking that we go ahead and lay down some stone bricks. And let's see, if we take this about out to there, so we've got 1 and then we've got 4 in between and another 1, and we'll build up from here. So I want there to be sort of a large grand opening into this explorer's hall, and I'm thinking we do something, maybe we do 3 right there and then another on the outside, and the reason I'm doing that is, I'll show you here, I want to put some little flower beds right in between. Okay, so something just like that, and then we'll build these back up, and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. If we don't have enough room, we'll go ahead and clear it out a bit more, but we're sort of just going as we build here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and throw down the dirt so we can remember where we want our flower beds. And then I'm thinking about here. Should be good. So that is a 5 width difference. And this is where I want to build up the wall of the Adventurer's Hall itself. So I'm just going to start laying this all down. And, well, we'll see what we have once we get this full building laid out. Now we've gone ahead and laid out a base for the building itself, which is 13 by 30 blocks long. So it's a little bit smaller, or I guess I should say a little bit narrower than I would have liked, but we're a little bit restricted on room over here, so we're going to make do with what we've got. Now, before we start working on the building itself, I want to build up the front porch-like section, and I'm going to use some polished andesite for that. And somewhere along here, I want to also be including in some steps up to the main building itself. So we'll have to figure out where we want to start placing those here in just a few moments. Once we get this all laid down, I want to go ahead and add a few more details onto the pillars themselves, and then we'll start working up on the building's wall itself. Alright, so this gives us a nice basic rectangular porch type patio section, and we may even wind up extending the wall around to this side, but we'll leave it be for now. And what we're going to go ahead and do is I want to grab some spruce trapdoors and just add these to the bottom of what we're working at. Now, I originally planned on including them on the pillars, however, thinking about it, we might have to do them on the flower beds alone because there's not enough space in between there to include those. But we might be able to do these up top on some of the upper sections. Now this is a pretty small detail, and if you wanted to, you could do this a little bit later on into the build. It's not necessary to do right now. I just wanted to start getting a good idea of the building itself that we're working with. And so what I was mentioning before with these on the pillars is probably something right up here along the top of them, where it connects to some kind of balcony that goes over the little patio that we're working with here. And before we move on to the wall, I want to go ahead and actually replace these because I think we will wind up doing that. And we might even want to go ahead and place in another set of garden beds. And it just so happens that a 3-wide garden bed fits perfectly on here. So that's a really good size for this little, I don't even know what to call it. I've been calling it a balcony or a patio, but it's some kind of main entrance. Okay, so now that we have all this down, and I'm going to take these off just for now because I'm not sure that I want them on that layer. We might bring this up one higher. I want this to be a very grand entrance, so what we can do here is I actually want to go ahead and lay in some polished andesite on one layer lower. And I'm even thinking that we drag this out to here and then go ahead and do it like so. There we go. And we'll do a very similar style to the door itself, which is going to be right about here. Alright, there we go. Something just like that. And I'm not sure whether I want to make this a entrance that's too wide or if I want to extend it all the way out to 4. I think 4 would give it a very grand look and would look pretty good. So let's go ahead and give that a try, and then we'll extend the steps as well. And maybe we go ahead and even bring them up around here. We'll have to get the wall in before we make a final decision on that. But focusing on the wall itself, I want to go ahead and let's grab a few different blocks here and decide what looks best. So there's regular oak planks, which we could use, but I almost want to do more of like a solid color, so maybe some stone or maybe even some terracotta. let's see what we have to work with. Maybe a light gray. I'm looking for colors that would be well suited with the exterior pillars here. So maybe a warmer color to go with the birch's yellowy tan. And so I'm going to just go ahead and lay these down like so. I'm thinking regular terracotta would work really well as our primary color for this. And we might even be able to do something with an accent. Let's go ahead and take a look at terracotta again, because we can get some really great colors using it. Another option too would be to try working with concrete. And we've got some brighter colors through there. But I'm thinking maybe white concrete, if anything. I know I use that in a lot of my builds, but it is one of my favorite blocks, both the powder and concrete itself. So we'll play around with this and see what we can do. Now, I'm almost thinking that we do some kind of grand entrance for this doorway itself. So maybe something just like this. And then what if we made, even though the terracotta itself is a primary color that we want on this build, what if we made it more of an accent? And that probably doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but I just want to give this a try and see how it looks. So I'm wanting to put some kind of windows in here. Maybe right about here and there. We can do 2 wide windows, and that shouldn't be too bad. Then we'll go ahead and bring this around, bring that over. Okay, and then, I'm a little bit torn on this. Whether I want to do yellow in the corners, accented by the white. I think I want to do... let's give stripped spruce a try. I was thinking originally to do some stripped birch. However, I feel like that would be too bright and it would take away from these pillars themselves. And then this is looking a little too much like a rainbow, so I think we gotta make these square right there, those little corners. And let's go ahead and bring this up. Since this is the grand entrance, we want these windows on the front to be fairly tall. So I'm thinking we make them maybe 4 high. And then we'll bring that over. And this 2 color might not work very well, but right now we're just playing around with ideas to see what looks good. Alright, so what if we did something like that? And then actually, let's make this one regular terracotta as well. Okay. So that's not bad. I'm thinking that we try and keep it even, so let's extend the white concrete by 1. That way, it goes 1 terracotta, 2 window, 2 space between, and another 2 window, and then back to 1. Or another way to look at it would be 2 wide windows with a frame of 1 terracotta around each. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the rest of these windows here. And I think today we're primarily going to be focusing on the front of the building and trying to get some kind of design just squared away for it. The idea with the yellow terracotta was to make it look more grand. However, I'm not really getting that feeling from it. So I'm thinking that maybe we change it back over to stone. And then we can do some stone brick stairs on here as well in order to make it more of a gradual incline. And then we'll want to do the door right on the inside so that there's a slight indent. And we actually have some spruce doors on us, so that works out pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and lay these down. And there we go. And then we'll do the trapdoor trick, which if you don't know, or if you haven't really done any very large builds, pretty much you can lay down these trapdoors to make it look like it's a much larger door than it actually is. So just like that, it already looks like it's 4 wide now instead, which looks a lot better. And before we fill in the rest of those, I'm going to go ahead and grab the stone brick stairs. And we'll put these up in the corners. Okay, now we've got those. And we'll go ahead and finish off this little door here. It's a little hard to do when you're in creative mode, so I'm just going to build up a temporary platform to go ahead and crouch down on. And we'll do that. Okay, and so then the only part that's going to be sticking through is the spot that we have those stairs. But that's okay, because we can just come around here and place those down just like so. So it looks a little strange from this side, but right now we do have a closed off explorer's hall. We might even wind up opening this up and having these doors be open. For now, this is just how I want to go ahead and take a look at it. So we'll go ahead and finish up this other side of the wall, and then I'll bring you guys back as we take a look at what else we have to do. Okay, so this is what we have going for the front of the building itself so far. And, you know, I'm kind of looking at this and thinking that I want there to be some kind of big, grand, sort of peak to the roof itself right about here in the center. So I'm just going to play around with this design a bit. And maybe something like that could be interesting, giving it a little bit more of an arch, that way it's not a really boring roof. Then we'll go ahead and trim this down because at this point in time I don't know. I don't want to say I don't think, but I don't know whether or not we're going to be doing a second floor. Let's go ahead and start throwing in a roof though for this section. And I'm just looking at this, trying to figure out how I want to go about doing that. I'm thinking maybe let's give spruce a try. Let's give it a try, folks. Alright, we'll just go ahead and lay this around like in a frame pattern around the outskirts of the patio itself. And we'll do something... oh, way too far. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, and then... I was gonna say let's bring it down one, but if we did that, we'd be covering the window like so. Maybe we try using trapdoors? It's a day for experimenting. But that's how you come up with cool new builds, so it's always fun to do. Oh, went too far. There we go. Alright. And then we'll just go ahead and... Oh, that's a little too low. We'll drop down here and add that like so. And I'm almost thinking that we add it to this one instead. You know what? We can just do that. I don't know why I didn't think of that in the first place. Alright, we'll do that over here. There we go. And so that just gives it a little bit of extra depth. And whoop, I am kind of thinking that we make this a wide incline. So we'll go ahead and make this too wide. If it looks too flat, we can always go ahead and increase it by a half slab per ring. And by ring, I just mean these little C's that I'm doing around the place. So like that was just one ring, and then we've got another ring here. Pretty much every time I touch the wall on both ends is a little section. But, so let's take a step back here and see how that looks. You know, I kind of like it. It's very subtle, but you know, I think it works. So we'll go ahead and finish that off with a half slab right through here. And so that just gives us this little arch right down there, but then we also have the difference right in here. And let's see, I think we need something to hang these from, so what could we use for that? Maybe some more stone brick? That might be too much stone. What if we tried... We could do some polished andesite stairs. That could be something. Okay, I think I'll hang them right about there. Whoops. There we go. Okay. It's not too bad. I kind of like it. It's still a little gray though. Are there any other stairs that work well for this? Let's see. Oh. I think we'll leave it as polished andesite for now, and then we'll come back through here if we can think of a better block to use for it. But now I want to go ahead and head up here, and we'll start laying in the roof next. Or actually, it might be a little tricky because we don't have the rest of the walls built up, but you know, I think we'll go ahead and give it a try anyway. So I'm going to grab some spruce stairs in order to keep with our spruce roof theme, which it looks like we already had. So we'll just go ahead and grab those. And then I want to give it the one overhang per the usual, and we'll carry this all the way over. Now, what we can do is something just like that for the section that starts to blend with the lower roof. And, oh, would that be a full block? I think that's a full block. Let's go ahead and grab these half slabs. That should work well. Okay. Then we'll carry this all the way up and around. And now I really want to do more of a peak up here, so maybe instead of doing straight stairs, we'll do half slabs and full blocks? Okay, so if that was in an awkward angle and you didn't quite see, you know, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. What if we kept that? Oh, it looks too pointed. Okay, we'll just go ahead and do that then. And then let's go ahead and finish up this half of the roof. And then I'll do the other half without you guys, and that should give us a really good idea of how the front of our building is going to be looking. Okay, and one last layer. Oh, this is half slabs. Okay. As we get to this corner, I think I want to do regular stairs. Oops. Okay. And we'll drag this out like so, just for the heck of it. So this is what we're looking at for the half of the roof. And you know, it's almost giving me like a library vibe or something like that, which we do need to build here eventually, but that wasn't quite the goal for this building itself. And maybe we'll do something to make it look a little bit more defensive, or I'm not really too sure. But let me go ahead and throw in the other front half of this roof, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we got the rest of the front half of this roof put in now, so we got a good idea of how it's going to look from the front. And folks, we are just about out of time here for this first video, but I want to go ahead and just do one or two last things with you guys here. Now, I want to go ahead and throw in some flowers first off right down through here, and we'll just go ahead and place in some of these, I think they're called azure bullets, right around there. And originally I was thinking about doing all these, but I kind of feel like we need a different color now. This won't really go with what we have at all, but let's just see how some blue orchids look. I'm looking for some of the more fuller plants that just look a little bit more filled in. And you know, that's not bad. I kind of like that. It makes it pop a little bit more. So that looks pretty good to me, and then I just want to see how putting in a small window up here would look. So we got a good section to do a 2x2 window, which would hopefully let in a little bit more light. But you know, I don't know how I feel about it. Again, it's got a very library style look to this building, so I don't know how I feel about it in general. But folks, I think that's pretty good for now. We'll go ahead and figure out a way to make this look a little bit more, I don't want to say magical, but just something a little bit different here in the next episode. So without further ado, folks, that is going to do it for today. I hope you did enjoy this episode, and if you're liking how the building is coming out so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe, because we will be finishing up here in just a few videos. So until next time, folks, I hope you have an awesome one, and I will see you then. Bye!